July the 7th, 2024. Guys, you're looking at the latest update on the peak storm surge. If you remember earlier, all of this was supposed to be up to about 5 feet right there, or 6 feet at some points. But now we're talking about 4 to 7. This goes from the Matagorda Bay up to the San Luis Pass right here. Galveston Bay, it's saying that you're at 4 to 6 feet. That could increase, but the storm has not changed much as far as the tracking. Again, all of this is increasing. Your high tide in the morning is at 7:01 a.m. That's very close to the time the storm is coming in. This is the latest on the tracking from the National Hurricane Center. It has not changed much from this morning. Pretty much skirting up the left or the west side of Houston and Galveston, and then curving back over the northwestern sections of Louisiana, going into Arkansas, and then up through really the eastern side of the Appalachian chain at this point. But you see it's an H there. That's hurricane. These are hurricane watches and hurricane warnings in the red and blue. More than likely, you notice the gusts are now, the sustained wind is at 70 miles per hour. The gust is much higher than that. 74 is a Cat 1, so you're at over Cat 1 as far as the gust. But they're talking about this coming in much higher before it reaches shore, and to where you're like an 86 mile per hour sustained winds with almost Cat 3 gusts before it hits the shore. Let's take a look at the satellite images directly over the Gulf. It is now 7:11 p.m. as I'm doing this. I'm going to keep it short so that it will upload, guys, because on Sunday night, especially during the holidays, the internet is extremely crammed. It's like traffic jam, so I want it to load up. But again, here is our storm. Notice in the last few images, it's starting to track a little further to the right. So Sabine, Pass. Keep an eye on this storm because you may end up getting the worst of it. But if we stay where it's at right now, Houston, you're going to get a Category 1 sustained winds with almost Category 3 gust. Now let's take a look at where the storms are using the infrared. Right here is the center of the storm. Again, the northeastern quadrant is kind of loaded up like it usually will be. Now, the sun is setting, so we're going to have a loss of atmospheric heat, but it's getting into warmer water, so we have to watch that. Again, Sabine Pass, kind of keep an eye on where the storm surge is going to come. All of the warnings that we saw just a few minutes ago may be moving to the right because this wobble is definitely taking an eastward turn. Now, these are live images as of 7:16 p.m. Central Time. This is Galveston at the seawall. You can see how dark it is on the horizon out here, and several areas there are very concerning. Watch for waterspouts coming in. Keep an eye on your local weather. Make sure your batteries are charged. You have some extra gas in your car. It hasn't gotten here yet. It's going to come in the morning. But all of this is going to be pushing in toward you. Right now the tide is out. That's why you're seeing a little bit of sand here. A few people walking. Notice that. At 7:01 a.m., this thing's going to be peaked at about 2.7 feet, higher than what it is now, plus possibly a 7-foot storm surge. That does not count the waves, guys. Again, not a long video. It's going to take it a minute to load this time of day, but I think this is the information you need. Now what you need to do, as long as you have electricity, make sure that you are tuned into your local weather. Now, looking at this images here, you saw it this morning, but the tide was in. Right now, the tide's out, and it's not coming up under the pier. That's going to change by 7 a.m. in the morning. You're going to start to see more than likely waves splashing over this, maybe coming over the seawall along the road. We don't know yet. The reason I say that is because this storm is very strong, just like the other ones we've seen so far. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.